If you're a normal person with a normal wage and a normal income and you're focusing on investments, you're making a big mistake, because there's no way you can invest 500 pounds that's going to grow into, maybe you could pull off a lottery win coin pump or something, but in general, with anything normal outside of this world, which is vanished because the real world's back, because the last 2 years have been world. Now the real world's back and it's hard to make money again. There's nothing you can put 500 pounds in without doing any work, and it's just going to blow up and it's going to make you a millionaire, right? So if you don't have significant money to invest, you shouldn't be focusing on investments. You should be focusing on how to make more money. Let's say you're a normal person, you're working a normal job, you're making $4 grand a month, and you pay all your bills and you're left with $1 grand a month. And then in your spare time, you're worried about how to spend that or how to invest that $1 grand a month.
Right.
I think that's a waste of time. You should be far more worried about spending your time trying to make more money.
Yeah,
because $1 grand a month, it's just not enough money.
So you could invest that grand in yourself.
Absolutely, invest in knowledge or something like that. But investing in a coin, like I said, unless it's a lottery win, I think the last 2 years have been a fantastic period of wealth creation. The money printers were on full, and it was full world, and a lot of people made money during the world and spent it all, and they now think they're going to continue to make money.
That's not happening.
No, the real world is back. The and the you're all going back to McDonald's. If you bought poop coin and made 200 grand, and you think you're going to be able to continue to do that for the rest of your life, that was a once in a lifetime generational gap where you could pull something off. And now it's back to the hard times. Even all the big tech companies, and the tech companies make money from the sky for free with pixels. They're cutting staff. If they're cutting staff, then it's really hard. It's going to get very difficult to make money now. So a lot of the is over. In terms of how to make money in the world today, it's hard. I think that the world is changing into an economy which is to a degree based on attention. I think you need to find a way to get attention to you and who you are, your product or your service, and find a way to monetize it. So the easiest way to do that is to have some knowledge. You need to find an efficient way to get attention, and then you have to prove yourself credible in your field and attract customers. And I think the best way to do that is online, and it doesn't matter what it is. And I think if you do those things and you work very hard and you try your best, for lazy, see my online, it's not groundbreaking to say the internet is here to stay and it's the future. And I think that whatever business you're in, you need an online presence to it, and you have to find a way to attract attention. That's what you do guys do. Yeah, and very few people are actually free. And I'm saying very few, because everybody to a degree is owned by somebody. All the entertainers, all the footballers, and even if you're a CEO, technically you're free. But if you're too free, your business fails. So everyone's to a degree is owned. Yeah, cutting hair. So then you have to define what an online business is, because if you start attracting attention online, that could, I guess you could say it's an online business. But let's try and think about something that's purely online. You're going to have to find a problem to solve. So if you're a hairdresser, you can either solve the problem of teaching people how to cut their own hair, which most people are probably not going to be that interested in, or something that goes wrong with hair. So you can say, I'm a hairdresser, I've been a hairdresser for a long time, I've identified men that have male balding patterns that go wrong, or women whose hair is damaged by dye and that can go wrong, etc. I've been a hairdresser for ages. Here's my Instagram page of all the hairs I've cut, and here's the way I can help you. You can start a YouTube channel that shows you can come up with some health care, some hair thing. You could literally get some cream from X place and add in some avocado oil, say it helps people and say it helps their hair. You've been around for a long time and you can establish credibility. You establish credibility based on the fact that you've cut hair, you've been around for ages, and you know exactly what you're talking about. You have this cream, you have this product now that has helped X amount of customers. You can give it to your customers and they can start to give you reviews and say, yeah, it works fantastically. You can sell it by your Instagram page for $7. All in bam. You have an online business. Anything can be done. It's about establishing credibility and getting attention. Completely. If you establish credibility and you gain attention, you'll make money. So I'll give you another example. I had a friend who was a personal trainer. He used to go to the gym every day and used to train people. He didn't make that much money. People would miss appointments. It was like £50 an hour. He'd get there, get back. I said, listen, brother, you used to, he didn't at the time, look fantastic. How about you spend the next 6 months in absolute killer shape? Then put up a bunch of pictures on Instagram of you in killer shape, and then put together your workout plans and tell people they'll look like you even though they never will. And sell that for $7 or £10 or £15 and sell it by your Instagram. And he went from making $2.5 grand a month or $2 grand a month as a personal trainer to 15 grand a month without ever going in the gym. He only went to the gym for himself because he was selling information. So, and that's what a lot of people are doing now, but now it's getting more and more competitive. So you have to establish credibility and get attention in a way which is becoming more difficult. Like in the fitness industry, it can be done purely on how you look to get some credibility and attention. But especially in the business world now, you have to be very knowledgeable. You have to be because that's the way things go when they get competitive, which is fine, but this all goes back and ties into what we were saying earlier on. if you're not trying your best and working hard and paying attention, then you're going to get... Another thing I will say to people at home, and I've said this before, every single time I ever spend money, I pay attention to why I spend money. And that gives you a lot of information and a lot of knowledge when it comes to sales and marketing. If I go and I buy some clothes, I am conscious about why did I choose this store instead of that store or that store.
What were they doing better?
Correct. Is it the branding? Do I know them? Am I familiar with them? Is it because there was no line? Is it because they had a brighter sign? What was it? Oh, there's a line there. There's no line here. So in my physical businesses, which I have in Romania, I have this thing with the staff. I said there can never be a line. Faster. Like, I don't want, but it's just 3 people. No, there are people walking past who won't walk in because there's a line, because that's what I do. No line, but you don't want to look empty.
No.
So no line until the last customer. Now you talk.
Yeah.
So there's one person.
Yes.
Like, you have to manage these things. Most people don't micromanage this stuff. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. No. You have to pay attention to seeing people who are doing things and if they work and how they work, and you're completely and utterly correct. And you should do that all the time. Every time you spend money, you should work out how they convinced you to spend money. It's simple things. Like, I have a few physical companies, I have a few physical businesses, and it can be a simple matter of, depending on, in the business districts where there's men in suits, I have a pretty girl who's a waitress and she works there. The difference that will make to a bottom line is the dude going and flirting with this chick every lunchtime. You'd be amazed. But people don't think about these things. But even if you don't have a business, if you pay enough attention to these kind of things, you'll get business ideas. It'll inspire you. You'll go, you know what? If you start to really do it, you'll be around, and after a few months, you go, you know what? I can do this better than they're doing. Because I'll take in that aspect, and they're making mistakes. I can do this better. And that's how you do it.
It's all in the details.
It's all in the details. That's life, right?
Absolutely.